Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and this is VMware certification VCP 6.5 data center virtualization training video, and this is number 19th video in this series. And today in this video I'm going to show you how to create DRS data store cluster on vSphere 6.5. So basically data store cluster is going to be a group of independent data store which can work as a data store cluster. So VMware will decide where to place machine and data store clusters. For example, when you are going to when you have a data store cluster and for example you added 4 disk in 4 data store in a cluster, data store cluster, VMware is going to decide where the machine need to be put on, like data store 1, 2 or 3 or 4. So this is something managed by VMware itself. So if you are going to create a new data store cluster, you have to understand few things. So the first thing you can see here, turn on data storage. DRS is one of the most important thing when you are going to have some automation for data store cluster. So basically you can see VMware vSphere storage DRS enable vCenter to manage data store as an aggregate pool of storage resource. So means when you are going to use the storage DRS, VMware going to manage the group of storage data stores as a storage resource. So as I told, it's going to be understand where you have to put the virtual machine hard drive, where machine need to be stored in the data store cluster. So this is something. So you can see VMware storage also enable vCenter server to manage the assignment of virtual machine to a data store, suggesting placement when you create a new machine. So basically when you are going to create new machine, it's going to give you the recommendation where you can put the virtual machine, and it's always it's depend on you. If you wish to change that, you can go ahead and change that, but storage DRS is going to give you the best possible way, and depending on the how much free space you have, what you have configured in advanced setting of DRS, it's going to give you the decision basically, and then final decision is going to be on your hand. So you can see whenever you are going to create, migrate or clone or migrate running virtual machine to balance load, enforce placement rules. So this is something data storage is going to take care, data store cluster. So we are going to see all these things in demo, how we can how it's look like in real life environment. So before going ahead and creating the data store cluster, we have to understand few things here, which is given here: storage DRS automation and storage DRS runtime setting. So I'm going to take you to the screenshot of both setting, and then we are going to discuss one by one, and then we are going to get into creating data store cluster. So this is, you can see, understanding of storage DRS automation. So basically when you create the DRS for storage, you are going to have these type of settings for storage DRS automation. So you have to make sure this is not related to DRS, which is going to be related to virtual machine power on or power off. This is something related to automation of storage DRS only. So you can see here, file will be migrated automatically to optimize resource users. So basically when you enable this full automated thing, the machine is automatically going to move from one data store to another data store which is in same cluster. So for example, if you have a one virtual machine which is sitting on data store cluster in disk 1 in LUN 1, and if the disk is going to be full, DRS is automatically going to be move that virtual machine from one disk to another disk in same data store cluster. So this is something. And also you can see set it to no automation, so it's going to give you the recommendation of virtual machine, but you need to perform the migration manually. So you have to make sure very clear how much like latency your storage having, and if lots of automation, lots of storage migration is going to be happen in your environment. So you have to make sure about that. So initially you can do it like manual mode, and then you can get the recommendation from VMware to do the storage migration from cluster in a data store cluster. And when you feel okay comfortable with going through the automation fully automated mode, you can go ahead and do it. And also you have like a space balance automation level and all these advanced options you can enable. So as per your requirement, as per your infrastructure, you can use these advanced options also. So next what we have is storage DRS runtime setting. This is something what DRS automation is going to do, and this is something storage DRS runtime settings. So in runtime settings, you can see there was this main thing which we need to make sure is storage DRS threshold. So threshold means when the storage automation is going to give you recommendation or going to take decision that where it has to place the virtual machine on like data store cluster. So space, you can set it through space threshold, like on percentage utilization, like minimum 50 to a maximum 100. You can set the, like, if the data store is going to be fill up like 80%, it's going to give you the recommendation, and if it's set to automate migration, it's going to do automated migration. And also you can set on like minimum free space depending on how much you want to configure. And also you have to make sure here like IO matrix inclusion, we have advanced option. IO latency threshold, it's depend on how much like latency your storage having, so you can set these advanced options also. And so now these are the some main thing which you need to take care before enabling the storage DRS and storage DRS in automation. So now this is my environment which I'm going to use in this demo to give you the idea how we can create a data store cluster, DRS data store cluster. So the first machine is my Win2K12 DC01, which is my Active Directory and DNS server, which I have used in my last video as well. So here you can go. So this is my Active Directory and DNS server, and local server you can verify Win2K12 DC01, and victorinfosol.local is my domain name, and the IP address of my domain controller is 192.168.0.200. So this is my Active Directory server basically. So second, I have my vCenter server, which is vCenter 65, and IP address of this machine is 192.168.0.202, and this is joined in my victorinfosol.local domain. So here we go. This is my vCenter server, vCenter 65, and victorinfosol.local. So this, I'm going to launch vSphere web client here. And next we have two basically ESXi host, ESXi 01 and ESXi 02. So here is my ESXi 01 and here is my ESXi 02. So in previous videos we have added my ESXi host in cluster, we have created cluster in vCenter, we have like enable HA, DRS, everything, and now it's time to basically configure this DRS cluster, data store cluster. So we are going to do that. So the first thing, you need data stores which is going to be participate in data store cluster. So if I select my data center and go to data store, you can see I have one DS standalone data store and two ESXi local storage, and one is the ISO. So I'm going to add new data store which is going to participate in DRS storage. So new data store, location India, click next, and this is going to be VMFS volume, click next. And if I go and select my one of ESXi host, you can see I have 3 LANs basically coming. Each LAN is size of 151 gig. So I'm going to create here DRS storage 01, and this is going to be my LAN number 2 and VMFS 6 version, and I'm going to use full space and click finish. And same way I'm going to add more, my second one, so I'm going to select VMFS and I'm going to rename it. I'm going to select host and then I'm going to select learn 3 and VMFS 6 and click on finished. And now the last one, learn, which is available here, so I'm going to select that VMFS and learn 3 and select the host, and here learn 4 I'm going to select. So now basically we have 3 independent data store which can participate in data store cluster. So now we are good to go ahead and create the data store cluster. So I'm going to here select data store cluster, and when I click on new data store cluster, it's going to give you name. So I'm going to put this name here, ds underscore cluster underscore prod. So ds underscore cluster underscore prod hyphen Noida. This is going to be my cluster name, DRS cluster name. Click next, and here I'm going to set it to fully automatic, so it's automatically going to take decision where to put virtual machines. And you can also specify set balance space balance automation. Also I'm going to set fully automated, so you can define these things as per your requirement and as per your infrastructure. And now click next. Now we have storage DRS threshold, so I'm okay with 80%, so I can go with so for testing I'm going to set it to 75%. And also you can set the free space, so I'm going with the percentage utilize option and click next. And now we have option which cluster you want to participate, and you have also standalone. So I'm going to select my cluster, which is prod Noida cluster having 2 nodes, ESXi Host. So click next. And now which data store is going to be part of this? So basically we have 3 options here. So data store connected to all hosts. So we can see these are the data store which we are going to take care in this cluster, DRS storage 1, 2 and 3, and click next. So now you can see what we have gone through and what we have created. So the cluster name, what the setting is, and threshold, and we have utilization difference percentage, everything is there. So check balancing. I am balancing every 8 hours. So this is also some advanced feature, and what data store is going to be participate. And when we click finish, it's going to create the storage. So it's going to take some time, and then you can see number of data stores 3, and alarm actions enable, and free space we have this much, and this is going to be our capacity. So this is good. Now we have if I refresh this, you can see we have 3 data stores here, but it's part of this data store cluster, so which is good. And now if I'm going to move one of my virtual machine for the storage cluster, and let's find what it's going to do. So if I migrate this machine and change the storage only and click next, and then we are going to get the option where this machine is going to migrate. So here we have this DRS cluster prod hyphen Noida. So you can see if I click next, you can see it's going to be put here, and if you view and change SDRS recommendation, you can see where it's going to place. So this is good thing. And now if I apply recommendation and click finish, you can see apply DRS recommendation is started, and soon this machine is going to be moved from here to our data store cluster. So currently you can see it's in standalone, so it's going to move soon. So it's 36% completed. And now if I go to my cluster data center, and then if I click on data storage, you can see soon it's going to be give you the latest basically size in here in a free space and capacity. So we have to wait for some time to get this apply storage DRS recommendation to finish, and then we can see what it's going to give you the recommendation. And same, if I right click here and go ahead and create new virtual machine, and if I create new virtual machine, click next, like this is a demo DRS, and click next, and then we have a cluster. I'm going to select one node ESXi 01, and when you go here you can see our cluster as well, DRS cluster. So if I click next and just click next, and I'm going to select default everything, and here if I expand this, you can see it's going to create 40 gig drive. So when I click next, you can see here where it's going to put. So it's going to put our this virtual machine in DRS storage 02, which is second data store, so which is good. It's automatically going to take decision where it's have to put, and you have also options here like recommendation to see where it's going to put on DRS 02. So this is good thing, and when you click finish, you can see this machine is going to be created, and now you can also see apply DRS storage is completed. So must be the virtual machine has been moved there. So if I go here and data store cluster, and you can see the virtual machine is moved here. So if I click here on data store cluster over, so and go to VMs, you can see our this virtual machine has been moved here in data store cluster. And also what I'm going to do, I'm going to go move my second machine in data store cluster. So migrate, change storage only, click next, and then I'm going to put here on data store cluster, and then click on finish. So it's going to migrate this machine as well. So now if I go here and under the data store cluster, you can see our new virtual machine which is created also here. So this is good thing, and data store which is participating in this. And you can also browse files always to see what virtual machine is residing in this particular data store. So you can see this is Win2K 12-01 is here, and test is going to be must be here, demo DRS machine, and this is going to be this third machine which is coming migrating, which we have just migrate. This Win2K 8-01 is coming on third DRS, third storage. So this is how a storage DRS work, and how we can create DRS data store cluster on VMware 6.5. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe me for more videos. And if you have any query, any question related to this video, you can always post me on my given mail IDs. Thank you once again. Bye bye.